Good morning, everybody. My name is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, October 30th, and we have a lot to discuss. 1, Apple search is coming. 2, Microsoft Bing has their own search indexing issues. And 3, Google may have had a search update on October 28th, so stay tuned. Okay, so first up, a lot of news this week are rumors and speculation that Apple is going to be launching their own search engine. This was from the Financial Times. A lot of what they actually covered was stuff that we covered over the past 6 years, I believe. 2014, discovery of Applebot in people's logs. 2015, more discoveries of different rumors of Applebot and different different crawling from Apple. Recently, in the past year or two, Apple releasing a help document around their crawler and their things like that. And then also last year, or earlier this year actually, Apple releasing their search ranking factors around web search. So nothing really new there, but it looks like it's going to happen sooner than later. The question is, with the Department of Justice lawsuit at Google about kind of restructuring Google and figuring out ways to reduce their monopolistic practices, as they call it, alleged monopolistic practices, will Apple be able to kind of gain market share if they launch? And will Google's market share drop between Bing and Apple? It will be interesting to see if Apple does launch something. I don't know if they will be able to take away significant share, at least early, maybe in the future if they become really good. But you look at Apple Maps' launch, not really great. And you look at Microsoft when they first launched and they dominated the browser space in 2004. That didn't go so well either. So I guess we will see. I'm very excited to actually see if Apple does launch a search engine. On the Microsoft side, Microsoft Bing, not to be outdone by Google's indexing issues, seem to have their own indexing issues this past week, or for the past couple weeks actually. Some of it may be Cloudflare related. Cloudflare confirmed with the Microsoft team there are issues, but it might be wider than that. It's unclear, but it seems like if you are having issues with Microsoft Bing indexing and Bingbot indexing your content, you are not alone. Also, on the Google side, it seems like Google may have had a Google search ranking algorithm update on October 28th, so just 2 days ago. I guess Wednesday, I think it started Wednesday late morning or so in Eastern time. We did see a lot of chatter, not crazy amounts of chatter, but definitely a significant amount of chatter. Not at the core update levels, but there seemed to be definitely chatter Thursday late morning throughout the day. And there are tools that actually showed spiking levels of ranking changes on October 28th or so. So we're definitely seeing some changes there. Google has not confirmed anything, but there are definitely some changes there. Google Search Console reports are delayed again. They are over 10 days delayed. This is nothing new. It happened before. Actually just happened about a month ago. So it happened again. There were rumors that when Google turned off the request indexing feature, that it had to do with those indexing bugs. John Mueller said, no, it's unrelated to that. I'm not sure if I fully believe that. Of course, yeah, turning off the request indexing feature in Google Search Console is probably not directly related to an indexing bug that Google may have had, but maybe Google's like, let's slow down the queue. Let's not burden our indexers or whatever the process is around that by removing that for now and maybe making some updates to it to make it easier for Google to process those requests. Not sure, but Google said no, they're unrelated, so just keep that in mind. So what's interesting is on Monday, Google posted a blog post giving 6 tips for e-commerce sites around the Black Friday holiday shopping season. One of those tips, the sixth tip, the last tip was to ask Google to recrawl your page. What's interesting is you can't, because the Google request indexing tool is no longer available at this point. It seems like because of that, Google then wrote a note on that blog post saying, no, as a publication, this tool is undergoing maintenance. We hope to have it up and running again soon. So I guess Google's going to go ahead and push forward and make sure this tool is active very soon, because the Black Friday shopping season is coming up fairly soon and people want to get their content re-indexed or indexed or updated in Google, and the fastest way to do that is to use URL inspection tool and then request indexing. So hopefully Google will get that going soon. John Mueller says that Google ignores capitalizations in HTML. So if you have like your HTML, ARF, and you're capitalizing the letter A, it's ignored. It's not going to be a problem. Google will still process that as a link. Google will process your metadata if it's using capitalizations or not. But it's best to use lowercase just because that's the way it should be, and be consistent, John Mueller said. John Mueller said Google really doesn't know the difference between B2B versus B2C content. Google's John Mueller said, we don't have a direct understanding of the difference when it comes to understanding content that's B2B driven or content that's B2C driven, or websites that are B2B versus B2C. They're essentially web pages, he said, and if they can rank for the same query, they might. Interesting. I do suspect Google has some type of classification around that, but it's not like they differentiate between the two directly in how they crawl and rank and so forth. Google is testing a new green bubble header. Usually the background's like a solid color for these like knowledge-ish panels, but now Google's testing like bubbles. It could be green, it could be blue, it could be whatever, but they're testing these bubble buttons. Google's testing always opening up the search tools. So removing the tools button in search and then having it just show the various search tools available. I can't replicate this, but it seems to be testing that right now. The Google Ads report editor has made a redesign. It has a new look, but it also added a bunch of features around data selection panels. So now there's a bunch of changes in terms of how you can actually control the panels and the data. There's even real-time updating of the data as you push the data to it, and more. So definitely take a look at that if you use this report editor. It's really a great tool for Google Ads and advertisers. Google Ads now could give you real-time alerts. So if you want us to configure those, you can. And also Google added the ability to expedite draft campaigns to make that whole process a little bit easier. And it's faster creating campaigns and viewing disapproved ads. So definitely take a look at that. Google My Business is testing, I don't see it myself, to show you the progress of a contact point. So if you use the contact us form for Google My Business for maybe a reinstatement request or a redressal request or any type of request for Google My Business is now testing, showing you the progress, if they got that request, what the current progress of that request is, which is really great. Google's local wait times, which we reported about the other week as being incorrect, so restaurants that are completely empty, showing them as being very, very busy, that seems to have been resolved. Mike Blumenfeld and a bunch of other people say, yes, it's resolved for their local restaurants. There was an interesting poll by Cyrus Shepard asking you, do you trust information, and where do you trust that information from? I'm going to go ahead and scroll through the different questions. Most information you're exposed to daily on social media blogs, Google blogs, private groups is accurate or trustworthy. SEOs you follow are trusted. Google spokespeople are trusted. Industry blogs and news sites are trusted. And private groups are trusted. So those are some of the polls. Very interesting to see those results. And also this week, Google and Microsoft both released earnings. What's interesting is on the Microsoft side, their search advertising, Microsoft advertising, Bing, etc., they're down 10% year over year, whereas Google's revenue is up 14% year over year. And if you just look at the Google search revenue, it's up about 6 or 7%. If you look at the Google search and network revenue, it's up about I think 9-something%. So interesting to see Google, Bing, Microsoft, Bing advertising down and Google up year over year. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week. Again, today is Friday, October 30th. A little bit snowy and rainy outside. Not much of a view. Gave you this side of the view instead. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Goodbye.